It sounds super mature, but I ended up developing this big crush on the groom a month before the wedding, and I thought he was into me as well. What on earth? He flirted back and we were texting nonstop a week before the wedding. When I mentioned to him that something was up between us and that maybe he should call off the wedding, he freaked out. He tried to tell me that he was just being friendly and that I shouldn't say anything to the bride about this. He admitted to me though through a text message that he did have some feelings for me, but it didn't matter. On the day of the wedding, I tried to make the bride late to the ceremony, hoping the groom would think she had cold feet and he'd finally call it off. It was stupid. In the end, they got married and I never spoke to either of them ever again. I can't believe what I am reading right now. Like, you just openly admitted that. First of all, it starts with, it sounds super immature, but, and then the whole, no, it sounds very immature and shady and wrong. That's crazy. And to think that they might still be married to this day and they're out there married and like the wife and the friend, that's crazy. I've been a bridesmaid like 4 times before, but I never had a bride turn as nasty as this one did. She was awful to the bridal party. She made us all grow our hair a certain length and told us how much weight to lose before the wedding day. She was seriously the worst. By the time the wedding happened, we were all resenting her hardcore. 2 of the bridesmaids didn't show up until last minute. I even decided to cut my hair really short before the wedding because I didn't care if having a bridesmaid with short hair ruined her photos. Whatever. The bride was peed off, yelling and screaming until it was time for the ceremony to happen. This sounds like the worst day ever. This sounds miserable, and so did the process leading up to it. And I hate to say like, oh, the bride deserved it, but like, don't be a freaking bridezilla and your bridesmaids might want to be a part of it. Like, by the end, like, I'm surprised they even went. If the whole wedding was exhausting, I was one of 2 bridesmaids, so I had to do so much work. Only 2? By 10 p.m. I was exhausted. I wanted the whole thing, excuse me, to be over, but I just couldn't walk out and go home. The bride would have flipped out. Instead, I told guests that the wedding was about to end and they should start heading out. It was only 11 p.m. by that time and there was at least another hour left. People started leaving early and the bride didn't know why or what happened. That's hilarious. Like, you just went around and like, psst, wedding's over. It's about time you leave, you know, the bar's closing up. Girl's tired. Bridesmaid has to get home. Party is over. But for me, it's like, don't ruin everyone else's time. Like, you just go home. I understand the bride would be mad, but like at the end of the day, if you're not feeling well, if you're exhausted, you tell her, I put in a lot of work today, girl. I gotta head out. This was an eye for an eye situation. My friend got so drunk at my wedding, she got into a fist fight with one of my cousins. That same friend got married 2 years later and made me a bridesmaid. I wanted revenge, so I ended up getting so drunk at her wedding that I passed out on the dance floor. Imagine your revenge being, I need to get wasted tonight. In that case, I do it all the time. No, I'm kidding. I'm too old to party like that. However, falling asleep on the dance floor is a lot better than fist fighting a cousin. Like, if someone passed out on the dance floor, I'm gonna just drag you off the dance floor and let you take a nap till you feel better. You know, maybe hide her under a table so she doesn't get stepped on, give her some water and some food, put her up in a room, let her have a snooze. The bride kept threatening all of us to make sure nothing went wrong at her wedding, and she kept telling us if something did go wrong, it would be all our fault. I kept trying to tell her that no one is perfect and something is likely to go wrong. Basically, I wanted to prove that to her early on in the day so she'd relax. I told the makeup lady to go to the wrong hotel and she was an hour late to start. The bride was fuming with anger, but I think it taught her a lesson that she needs to chill or not take things out on us. Oh my God. That is a very risky game to do on the wedding day. The wrong hotel, like, that could have really messed up the wedding day. I don't know what is with all these like bridezillas and everything like that, but I've already told myself I'm not gonna be that. Things are gonna go wrong. It won't be everything you ever imagined, because I feel like we picture the day in our head before it happens, and we set these standards for ourselves in our mind of how the day is supposed to go. And it's like, that's just not how life works, you know? The wedding was so boring. The bride only had like 6 people there my age, and the rest were her parents, friends, and her family members. I needed some drama. I found the cake early on, cut a slice of it for myself, and ate it in the bathroom. I didn't think it'd be a big deal, and it was a huge deal. Later, I confessed to doing it because I felt so bad for the bride and groom. Come on, you're telling me you didn't think it was gonna be a big deal? Cutting the cake is like the biggest thing of the night. What do you mean I didn't think it'd be a big deal and you ate it in the bathroom? It's a big deal, and I think you knew it was a big deal. She asked 16 girls to be bridesmaids. Christ almighty, that's a freaking classroom of children. What, like that's a soccer team. What do you mean 16 bridesmaids? In the year and a half between the engagement and wedding, all but 6 dropped out. 3 were her sisters. She wanted 16 separate shades of blue and 16 different styles of dresses for each bridesmaid, then threw a fit when the store didn't have that many options. She demanded everyone pay for a week-long bachelorette party in Vegas, including her share, and then got mad at some people who opted out. People were in college and students at the time. Her parents gave her a $20,000 budget and she ended up spending $100K and demanding they pay for it. So they took out a loan and they are still paying it off. We can't even read all this. This is insane. Final straw for me was when she demanded to see my toast a month prior so she could edit it. She ended up rewriting it totally. I skipped the wedding totally and ended our friendship. They did end up getting married, and 6+ years later, he seems absolutely miserable. I mean, I'm not surprised by the outcome by any means. You lost me at 16 bridesmaids, and then you lost me at like the party in Vegas for a week. Do you know how expensive Vegas is? Like even for a day, let alone a week, especially if I was in, oh my God, y'all, I literally am 29 years old and I finished paying off my student loan when I was 28. I only had a maid of honor. She was concerned about her ex hanging out with his girlfriend all day, changed into her pajamas during the reception, didn't want to help set up. She's my best friend and was going through a lot, but it really sucked anyway. That's nice. Like, yes, your best friend is going through a hard time, but you know what? As the maid of honor and the best friend, you leave your problems at the door for one day. I don't care. You know, you can cry the next day, you can be heartbroken. By all means, I know you're going through stuff, but you leave your problems at the door on my wedding day, and we're here to support me and my love, and I will help you get through this breakup tomorrow. I am so glad that the only bridesmaid drama I encountered was that one of my bridesmaids, who I had asked about a year prior, realized about 7 months before the wedding that her brother was getting married on the same day. She tried her best to attend both weddings, but timings meant she missed our ceremony and she came for some of the evening reception. Luckily, my wonderful photographer took us and my other bridesmaids off to do some photos and did them in black and white, so her dress looked the same color as the other bridesmaids. I feel like this was honest, you know? Like, this was an honest mistake. 7 months before, she found out her brother's getting married on the same day, gave 7 months notice, attended both, did her best. I don't know. I feel like she didn't try to ruin your day. Not me, but my best friend's bridesmaids were supposed to pick her up when she returned from visiting family the day before the wedding to go out and celebrate at some bars, then head to a hotel while us groomsmen and groom hung out at their apartment. After being 30 minutes late, they called and asked her to pick them up from the bar. They'd all gotten drunk without her. Then at the hotel, all of the bridesmaids passed out and slept in the beds while she had to sleep on a trashy, uncomfortable couch. The next day at the wedding, they didn't help set anything up. All the groomsmen were demanded by the mom of 2 of the bridesmaids to clean up the entire wedding ourselves while they all got drunk. Yikes. That's what I feel about alcohol and weddings. It's like, for me personally, it's like open bar, duh. Here to have a good time. But at the same time, it's like, alcohol just can ruin a lot of things, and alcohol can make things go bad very fast. Like, we're not drinking the night before the wedding because you don't want to feel like absolute shit on your wedding or your bridesmaids, you know? Like a glass of wine, something like that, but like we ain't getting trashed. Not my bridesmaid, but one of my best friends got married a couple of years ago, and one of our other best friends was maid of honor. The entire wedding and reception, the maid of honor was in the worst mood ever, to a point that her own father told her to stop being such a spoiled brat on what was meant to be the happiest day of her best friend's life. There's only a handful of photos where she's actually smiling, and at one point in the night, her mom's dress had broken and maid of honor actually screamed and shouted at her for it, like it was her fault, in front of so many people. The reason she was so unbearable, she wanted her new boyfriend to come to the wedding. They'd been together a couple of weeks, but he had been shunned by our entire social circle for stealing thousands of pounds from his friends and employer, and the person he had tried to pin the theft on was a wedding guest. Wow, that is some drama. Okay, like at first I'm like, why was she so friggin' bitter? Like, cheer up or go home, like at that point. Like, can you imagine? Your boyfriend is a friggin' thief, and then like the person he stole from is one of my wedding guests. Like, of course he can't come. No. Not my fault. Blame your boyfriend. My bridesmaid didn't even show up to my wedding. You got ghosted? Wouldn't answer my calls or texts, then blocked my other bridesmaid on Snapchat. A couple of months later, I found out she told people not to come. She bought her dress late and couldn't afford a hotel room. So before the wedding, I told her if she didn't get a dress in time, I would help her find another dress. I also got her a hotel room at the hotel I was at. If she needed a ride because my wedding was out of town, my other bridesmaid lived close by and would have picked her up. It just hurt because I thought we were close and she still hasn't messaged me. That's sad. That hurts my heart. Like, that is not a good friend. You went out of your way to help her with things that really weren't your problem. And then she ghosted you, and then she blocked people on Snapchat, told people not to go. Like, what is happening? All right, y'all, those are some really crappy bridesmaids. All I can say from this is choose your bridesmaids wisely, and maid-of-honors, and also don't be a bridezilla either, because that sucks. Stay classy and stay sassy, but not too sassy on your wedding day, okay? Okay. Itchy. Ugh, my hair. Ugh. This one hair is just like, what is that? I don't know. 11. Ugh, Lord, this is long. Obligatory. My bridesmaid did. Have you even subscribed to the channel yet? Don't be a fake fan. Hit that subscribe button. You know you want to.